On this channel, it's about keeping it real, everyday issues. Let's see what we can get into today. What's happening, guys? To all my new subscribers, thank you so much. It means the world to me. I hope you continue to come back, check out my videos, and don't forget to share that video, hit that like button, and hit the bell so that you know when the next vid is coming. You will be notified, actually, when the next video is out. You know, guys, I can only speak for Pennsylvania. Here in Pennsylvania, the minimum wage is $7.25. Now, I'm pretty sure the economy, is pretty much the same other states that are nearby. Maryland, Virginia, Ohio. Maybe once you start getting into some of the other areas like the big cities, big super cities like New York City, New Jersey, those areas, it might be a little bit different. But, you know, how is somebody to really survive on making $7.25? I think it's sad. There are so many people here that are dealing with that sort of thing. It's like, that's all we can pay you, and that's all that we pay. June of this year, our governor in Pennsylvania, I think he went to the legislate or something like that to try to move the minimum wage up to at least $12 per hour. Pennsylvania, among 20 other states, they all got turned down. Now let me ask you something. I don't really get into politics, things like that, and I don't really know what would be the real true reason behind turning down people making $12 an hour to live. Could you honestly live on $7.25 an hour? I know I couldn't. I would be hurting. This is why the welfare system here in Pennsylvania, this is why it has skyrocketed. It has gone through the roof because people may be working a full-time job at $7.25 an hour, but see, that's not enough. Okay, that's not enough. Some people are actually working 3 jobs. Out of these 3 jobs that they're working, they're all part-time. Why are they part-time? Because you don't have enough time in the day to work full-time, 3 full-time jobs. Which also means you don't have health insurance. Okay? That has gone through the roof. People can't even afford health coverage here. So, isn't it sad that it has come down to this, to where people literally have got to work multiple jobs just to keep food on their table? And even the 3 jobs that they're working, they're struggling to put food on their table. $7.25 an hour. That's like $290 or something like that a week. Multiply that, it's a $580 paycheck every 2 weeks. Most companies pay bi-weekly, which means, let's say they take out $140 in taxes out of that $580. Now you got $440 to live on. I think that's what it is. Somewhere around there. $440 to live on in 2 weeks. And your car payment is $300 plus. What is happening to our country? How did it become so bad? Now, $7.25 an hour. I'm very fortunate to have the type of job that I do that pays much more. I'm so thankful to have that. But in order for even myself to have a really decent pay, that is a lot of overtime. You got to work a lot of overtime, okay? And that's at least 10 hours a week. 10 hours or more per week to get a decent pay. Um, I just feel bad for people that are really struggling, and that's why you see more and more homeless people, because they've lost everything. Possibly they've lost their home, their cars, possibly even their families because of a bad habit or something. But we're not going to go there. I don't know what it's like on the West Coast, but all I know is everywhere that you live, no matter how much you make per hour, everything in that state is adjusted to the type of pays that people are receiving. So bread and milk has just gone up. Gas prices have gone up. But people's pays are not. So people are always being forced to struggle, to have to make changes or sacrifices to, well, we can't do this now. We have to, this has to be completely done with now because we can't afford it now. There's people that have those good jobs. Now, here's the part that gets me. These people in government that are telling the states, telling these governors no to a raised minimum wage of $12 per hour, no. What is the reason of that? And what burns me up is these government officials that make these decisions are sitting high in their height chairs. And I say height chairs because that's exactly what it is. They're living high off the hog, as they say. It's pretty much a hoedown for the government on weekly basis. Every weekend they're having a hoedown because these are the people that have the money to go on these vacations or on these big fine dinners, and it's just so disturbing. The corruption in the country is so unbelievably outrageous. I can't even, and it's like that in different parts of the world. You know, I kind of put, I was thinking about just my wife and I the other night. We were sitting here, and you know, guys, I can't help but always be thinking about the people in the Philippines. I have watched so many different programs on how these people are basically struggling every single day. They're working an 8 to possibly a 13-hour a day job, and all they have is a small sack of rice to come home to live on, to have dinner with their entire family. A sack of rice. I'm not talking a huge 50-pound sack of rice. I'm talking maybe 1 or 2 pounds of rice, and that's about it. Think about that. Well, you know, it's almost the same thing here. When you're getting paid $7.25 an hour, and you're trying to feed your family for that whole entire week, for that whole, if you get paid bi-weekly for 2 weeks, how can that possibly even be done? This is why, like I said, the welfare system has blown up. There are so many people having to run to the government for that assistance to help them. And there are guidelines to that, you see. There's guidelines. You cannot work any more, or you cannot make any more money than what you're making. Otherwise, you're going to start losing those benefits. Now, I'm not putting down, I'm not cutting the welfare system, but I personally believe that the government could be doing differently on how people are receiving these benefits, how they're receiving these benefits. Supposedly now, I don't even know if it has even gone into play, but people are actually being, you have to go and have a drug screen before they will even consider giving you benefits. Your income is so low that, when I say low, I'm talking $100 and some possibly a week. So there's people that are working making minimum wage being turned down government assistance because the government says, yeah, I don't think so. You're making too much money. You make $290 a week. Really? Really? So, for the people that are trying hard, they work hard, they're really trying to make it. It is such a struggle and a stress for these families trying, to get to their next paycheck. It's really sad. I can't honestly believe, seriously, where our country has gone. It just seems like when I was growing up, it seemed like, and maybe it's because I wasn't really thinking about adult stuff, but it just seemed like things were a lot simpler than what they are today. They've made it more difficult for people. Not everybody can afford to get a college education. Okay, that's not everybody can afford that. Doesn't mean they're not hard-working people because they don't have a college education. So that's kind of where I'm at with this whole thing, guys. I don't know. It's just, let's get real about it, man. It's really gotten bad in our country. I travel to Philadelphia. I travel into Pittsburgh. I travel even locally here. Just today, I saw a gentleman sitting at an intersection with a sign that said that I am homeless, need food, please help. God bless you. I unfortunately did not have anything to give this man. I don't normally carry cash in my pocket. And I watched so many people just drive past him without, it's almost as though he doesn't exist. That is what it's become in our country. So many people have lost everything, or they are just not given the opportunity to prove themselves because they look a certain way. Here's a man that went into possibly a McDonald's and he applied for a job, but because he had a certain smell, had a certain look, no. Another good example, this is not, actually it's not an example, this was something that I had seen with my own eyes at one of the local convenience stores here. There was an older man, he was like a senior citizen, that was going through garbage cans. And you could tell the man was homeless. His clothes was extremely dirty. He did not look clean, and the heels of his shoes were falling off. And when the manager of the convenience store saw this man out front going through their garbage can, she flew out that door and told this gentleman, you have got to go. We don't want you here doing these things. Why couldn't this lady, why couldn't she have just grabbed a couple of simple items such as a couple pieces of bread, a bun, something, and went out and just handed it to the man, and he would have been on his way. Okay, would have been on his way. But this is the society that we live in, guys. These homeless people are ignored. People look at them like there's something wrong with you, or you put yourself there. You obviously don't want to work because, well, look at you. How could somebody let themselves get that bad? We don't know everybody's story. People are so judgmental here. It's unbelievable. Not only are we judgmental against each other, but yet our government is judgmental about their own people. When they are turning down the opportunity for people to make better money for a better life, they're being judgmental. That's pretty much all I got on this, guys. You guys keep it real, love one another. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.